Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Mariners still not dead. They're hot. My Yanks are. We're in Williamsport. The band is back together. Let's get it. Quick pitch. What's going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Myself, Jake Storielli, Trevor Plouffe, former Philly, BBD, former Phillies infield Stan. We are back. I finished my bachelor party crazy August season. Was out. It turns out I was in Maryland, the Maryland-West Virginia border. Sugarloaf, or there's a mountain there or something. Some horse races, casino, golf, 82, Trev. Real course, too. Little Poppy was dialed in. 38 on the front. No, I got witnesses, Pop. And then we did a lazy river float, which was funny because the river wasn't rivering, so we were just floating. So you had to really kick 3 hours in the drink, Trev. And all I was thinking about, God, I can't wait for Monday. Back at it. Going through the games with you, Big Daddy.
I love you, and I'm happy for you that you had a great weekend. You do seem to have a lot of friends that are getting married right now, so a lot of bachelor parties.
Always.
I don't know about this 82, bro. What kind of course was this?
I'm telling you. Trev, it was artwork. It was artwork. Just 260 to the middle of the fairway, and then whatever iron I needed, we were rolling. It was awesome. I knew it was going to fall apart. Had a little chicken wrap at the turn. Blame that. But it felt good. And it's I've been golfing these past 2 weekends, which I really like golf. And I want to play golf more. And I got to figure out how to do that. But I also like talking ball. And that's it the rest of the way, you know?
Are you going to stop talking for just a second and let me tell you what I did this weekend? You hear voices. You got it today, huh?
We were doing tequila shots, and Olivia went to the volleyball thing. Sweet weekend, dude.
Whoa. Get off her IG, bro.
Never. First like every time. I'm going to put noties on for her.
Okay, I had a great weekend, but I'm also excited to talk ball. I've actually been catching up on a lot of it right now. I even took notes again today. No big deal on that. Brew Crew, hot.
Yeah.
Mariners, hot. Braves, hot, obviously. 80 wins. Holy shnikey. Let's get into it, man. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. What are you? Get off of her IG.
Turning on notifications.
Whatever.
I haven't liked her last post. Okay. Trev, and thank you guys for doing Fridays up where you did start with the AL as we always do on Fridays. What we start with is FitBod, Trev, and it's game time. I've referenced multiple times the event we have coming up in December. I had to get through this stretch. I know I was going to be eating and drinking a lot. It's time to dial in, and FitBod is going to help me do that in my day-to-day routine. Hey, a little tech can help you go a long way. You know, you see those people that go with their notepads to the gym. FitBod is a big step up from that. They give you a personalized workout plan for whatever your fitness level and goals are. Customized workout. Part of my problem is I end up doing the same stuff every time. You know, I do a couple curls, some bench press, legs here and there. I get the Bosu ball going. I need more. And that's where FitBod can come in. The workouts improve as you do. They keep track of your strength training ability, study your past workouts. It adapts to you. Every body is different. Me and Trev compared our bodies last time he was here. Different in some different areas. Track some achievements. You'll learn some new exercises. It's not too late to crush your summer fitness goals or, hey, just your fitness goals in general. Try FitBod today, 25% off your subscription, or try the app free. Fitbod.me/talkin. That's FITBOD.me/talkin. 25% off your subscription to the app. in, again, the American League. I can't believe Dalton had this one first on the sheet. Guard Dogs, Tigers. Tigers take 3 out of 4. Okay, fire me up, Scooble. Fire me up, Akil Badu, doing that thing you Badu. Guardians took the second game, but in a lot of close, low-scoring games, the Tigers came out on top. Eduardo Rodriguez. Torkelson's your guy, huh? You wonder, is the light bulb flickering? Is it on? I'm interested to find out. Trev, kind of you've been on this, but this doesn't do much for me because neither of these teams are really going for it. And that's a shot at you, Guardians, because I'd much rather talk about the Seattle Mariners going into H-Town, Funky City where the top drop and getting the 3-game sweep. Are you kidding me? 2-0. Bryce Miller, 6.1 shut. Julio Rodriguez is out of control. What he is doing on the baseball field right now is a certain level of electric that we don't get to see a lot. Dylan Moore has a big day at the office. My guy Dominic Canzone. Oh, the Mariners get the sweep. They knock around Framber. We've got a Houston players-only meeting, Trev. Now you're speaking my love language. Eugenio's in there every day. Whoa, the AL West just got a lot more interessante. Unfortunately, that's not because of the Halos. The Halos lose 2 out of 3 to the Rays. Trev, we're moving out games out west because hurricane earthquake season in Cali. I cannot wait to get your thoughts on that. That's kind of your wheelhouse. So they do a doubleheader. Rays put up an 18-burger on that second game, and Rays won that first game in extra innings. 3 big RBI singles to help get it done. Angels, I think they're 5-13 since the trade deadline. Not the direction they need to go. They're calling up more rookies. They've called up this year's draft pick. It's kind of insane. Rays, they get it done. 2 out of 3 from them. Oh, what's this series? The Red Sox swept the Yankees. Oh, I'm just seeing this now. Brian Bayo, 6 shut. Yes, a Talkin' Baseball favorite. Devers, Verdugo, Justin Turner was everywhere in this series, killing the Yankees. The dreams had already been killed, but now they're just making it a full-blown nightmare. The Yankees are in the saddest state. They've lost 8 straight. It's the first time they've done that since 1995. The sky might fall. The sky might fall. Wish the Yankees worried at all. Ooh, I used to know some. Lil Cuddy. Orioles, they sweep the Athletics, and that's obvious. Your guy Gunnar did some big things. There's rumors that could be talked about later. I mean, Kyle was being bradish. Ryan O'Hearn doesn't stop. Dadley Rushman. The whole band, man. They, like a good team is supposed to do, they sweep Oakland, and that is what happened in the American League. Thank you. Far too kind. As we sit here on August 21st, the Baltimore Orioles are 77-47 in first place, 3 games up on the Rays. I was surprised when you guys said last episode it was 2 games up. Rays in an interesting spot right now. Toronto is 8.5 back. Can they join the party ahead of them? They just want to stay away from the party behind them. Although your Red Sox are 66-58 now. And the Yankees are 17 games back of first, but I don't know if they kick in a gear. Let's talk about the first place Minnesota Twins, 65-60. Hell yeah. 6 games up on the Guardians. Let's go. Vamo. Detroit's a game and a half back of them, coming for second place in the Central. White Sox are missing. They're still waiting for their 50th win. And Kansas City is 40-86. Now where it gets fun. The Texas Rangers, 72-52 in first place. L4, by the way. Houston, 70-55, 2.5 back. L3. The Seattle Mariners are a half game back of the Astros. W6 in the win column. My goodness, the West has gotten fun. Halos are 61 and 64. Yikes, Oakland 34 and 90. Trev, I guess maybe there's something I missed. Do you know why Tigers Guardians was the first series on the sheet here?
Why wouldn't it be?
Save
Tigers are playing some of the hottest ball in all of baseball.
Okay, Kerry Carpenter, yes.
Torkelson, yes, has been raking. He's hit really well in August, and he did have a mechanical adjustment, which I like. He started to change his stance. I guess not mechanical, just more of a feel thing, a little more upright. Sometimes you need to go a little bit upright with your stance. You start to feel like an athlete again. When you get too crouched down, you feel stiff. You don't feel like you're using your body the right way. A lot of guys will say, let me just get in the cage and try to bang some balls around, try to hit the ball hard. You almost everybody gets more upright. It's a weird thing. It happens. And then that can get a little squirrely. So then you get back down to your legs. It's a give and take type things. But he's made that adjustment. I wanted to point that out.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the bigger thing, through the first 3 months or so of this season, it was like, okay, are the guard dogs going to kick into gear at some point? It's early. They're young. At one point, they kind of got up to 500. I think they jumped Minnesota for a day or two. Yeah. They're out of it, man. And I know you've been the hardest on them for, what are pitch limits? What are we doing here? Man, I know we've said it a lot. It really feels like your Twins are running for an election uncontested, and I'm happy for them. How about that?
Yeah, look, there's Guardians fans like to come at me and say, you don't even know, like they're not really giving up on the season. They just looked at the roster and said they couldn't compete with the rest of the teams. I'm like, yeah, that's giving up on the season.
Yeah.
You're giving up on the season. You gave Savale away. You didn't give him away. You had a nice prospect, but I don't know, man. I'm happy for the Tigers. I'd rather talk about them because they are still playing some inspired ball. That's a bunch of guys trying to, secure their place in the big leagues, get a roster spot for next year. I mentioned Torkelson doing his thing. They've actually played really, really well against the AL Central, which I don't know if that you might say, well, the AL Central stinks, but it's important to beat the teams in your division. They're 8-5 against Minnesota, 7-3 against Kansas City. Like they've done a really good job in that regard. They're 10-8 in August. They played better ball. I don't know. That's really what's going on. Zach Short still doing his thing. We always have to mention him. There are some good ball players on that Tigers club. There really are. I feel like they're just like a piece or two away from kind of not like I don't see like a Orioles type resurgence for the Tigers. I think they're going to have to go out there. Maybe get back into free agency, bring some really supplement that roster. But I could see him competing next year. I really could.
Torkelson is now a positive OPS plus. Riley Green, sneaky. I know he missed that chunk of time. 838 OPS, 129 OPS plus. And Kerry Carpenter, man, it's 25. Didn't have Torkelson's name when he got called up, but he's having an awesome year. If you're the Tigers, Scooble back throwing the pill. You're going to probably have to replace Erod, but I know they're supposed to get, they have a whole injured young rotation. Will be interesting to see. They can be a fun offseason team. Like they can bring it in.
They've done that before.
Don't you look at the division? If you're like any GM in the AL Central, you say, well, shoot, like we don't even got to be that good to win this division.
Miggy Cab's coming off the books, right? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Make some moves.
I already have it kind of penciled in for next week's midweek, but for the final 3 to 4 weeks can change your season. Torkelson's top of my list.
Yeah. Guardians, I'm kind of over it. I'm sorry. I want to talk Astros Mariners, Trev, because this is the stuff, and I'm gonna compliment you. When you and I go 4 or 5 days without seeing each other, we kind of turn into two stags eyeing each other up. And just, alpha, gazing at each other. Trev, you resisted all year. I'm not calling the Mariners dead. They're a good team. They need a couple things to click. Loved when Jolly brought up the schedule, but Jolly didn't mention this Astros series on the schedule as a walkover. They sweep them. Julio is playing out of his mind, and these Seattle Mariners are back in the forefront of this baseball season, even sneaking back into the wild card. As of right now, the Toronto Blue Jays are a half game out of the playoffs. Houston's a half game ahead of Seattle. I was big on there was going to be a good AL team that doesn't get invited to the dance. I thought the Yankees could have been in that conversation. Unfortunately, they're not a good team. Toronto, even Boston is still fighting 3 games out, and they've got a little bit of juice. But Seattle, Toronto, Houston, and the Mariners give Houston the work this weekend, Trev, and oh my.
Yeah, I mean, this was the Julio show. And as he's started to really take off, so the Mariners, and we've talked about this before, man. There was never a point in the season that I thought the Mariners were murdered like they were last year with Mike Trout. They've been playing okay ball with what we knew was the capacity to kind of do what they've done as of late. So Julio being a massive part of that, and having to pick up the slack. J.P. Crawford is one of their better hitters. Now he's out. But when you have a guy has 17 hits in 4 games, you know how insane that is? 17 in 4 games is nuts, dude. That is going up to the plate, not even thinking about a damn thing, not even thinking about what the pitcher has. Doesn't matter. When you are locked in like that, you know what I told you before the show when I said, let's get back to the basics. Big part of the bat onto the ball. That's all it is, bro. You feel like you're going to get the barrel to everything, and that's what he's done. I mean, in that first game, great Mariners pitching, which they have in spades, and then you get Julio going up top. Mike Ford is a thing. He went Jimmy Jack to right field too, so that's you get that pair with a nice Bryce Miller start, win the first game. Then you open up the offense, game 2. Julio still doing his thing, and then a great game on Sunday yesterday to finally get the sweep. And I don't have it in front of me. I thought I saw it at one point, but I don't know when the last time the Mariners went and swept Houston in Houston.
You get our analytics on that.
It's a daunting place to play, man. It really is. And the Mariners are getting hot at the perfect time.
Yeah. And okay, let's go back a little bit. All-Star game in Seattle, they were 1 game above 500. I was very passionate about that actually kind of means something. They do end up trading away Paul Sewald. There's a little okay. So are we yet waving a yellow flag? What does that do to the team? Hey, Canzone, the outfielder they got back, he's run into a couple big ones for them, and young.
Got a nice swing.
Young team control player. Little Matt Olson in that swing. High finish.
Hey.
Stay away from my daughter. As you look at the Mariners page, it looks a lot different now. I feel like when you used to look at the Mariners page, there's a lot of guys with an OPS plus that was in the 90s, and it's like, okay, you're just under league average, and that kind of summed up the Mariners offense. Now you look at it, Cal Raleigh is over. He's got a 107 OPS plus. Ty France is 104. I know JP's out, but 125. Eugenio's right on the nose at 100. He ran into one, and he's out there every day, and that matters. And he has 78 RBI, and I know there's got to be people on in front of you, but he's driving in runs. That's what's important. Julio, the numbers are starting to get where we'd expect Julio to be. Mike Ford, 119. Teoscar, 103. I mean, my guy Dylan Moore with a 154 in small sample size. So now it went from okay, the Mariners as a team aren't really a great hitting team this season, to now it's okay, we got bodies and Julio's running, so if someone else gets hot with him, we can score runs. The Seattle Mariners are a very, very dangerous ball club with an easy schedule coming, with the AL West, never mind that final wild card spot, everything's in play. That if you're Houston and Texas, we've been doing is it going to be a Texas two-step this year? Is it going to be Rangers, Houston in the CS? I mean, the division's in play for the Mariners.
What I like about, the Mariners team, their starting pitching has been, incredible, especially against Houston this year. I just had it up. It's something ridiculous. Why can't I find that now?
Okay.
I think in 9 starts, they have like a 1.8 ERA. That's how you get the job done. Now, I believe they're 7-2 against Houston this year. They've already clinched the tiebreaker, which means something. Head-to-head record is the first tiebreaker. They only have 4 games left against Houston, so it's
8-2. I think it's 8-2.
8-2, yeah. So maybe that was after game 2. I saw that. That means something, dude. And one guy I will say before we talk about the Astros a little bit, for the Mariners, who I think is going to be a big difference maker, because we know that they can pitch, and like the offense has guys. But I think the addition of Teoscar Hernandez to Jake Lytics, like lengthen the lineup, have another threat, a real deal power threat, I think is going to be paramount for them as the season continues. As you get into the playoffs, if they do get into the playoffs, I think having a guy like him is going to totally change it. Last 14 days, 333, 385, 11, 891. Last 7 days, he's 1 dot in it. Like, he's going to get hot at the right time, or he is getting hot at the right time. Julio and him, that's kind of all you need, in the middle of the order. If you can get guys on around him, a few other guys, big hits and with runners in scoring position here and there, some timely hitting. But I think having brought him in and keeping him also at the deadline, because there was talks about them trading him.
Right.
I think is going to prove to be very big for the Mariners.
Yeah, he's having a great August, and it's funny. BBD mentioned the all save your season team, or what can it look like? Like Teoscar Hernandez, a career 260, 316, 803 OPS guy. He can still land the plane in that ballpark. I mean, he's got to stay hot, but he's been hot. And yeah, that guy, I always love the word threat for hitters. That guy's a constant threat. And yeah, he's got his lefty versus righty split's a little bigger than it's been this year. I wonder, could that be anything? Is that sometimes a mechanical thing? Is that just sometimes baseball? Is that like, I don't know.
Is he raking lefties and not hitting righties?
Yeah.
It's normal, but if the split's a little bit off, it could be mechanical. It could be something as, if the league has found a hold on you, or you could be, I'd have to watch his at bats, but it could be anything as simple as your hip just going a little bit more, so you're exposed on the outside part. Maybe you're chasing a little bit more in. It just all depends on what's going on. I'd have to really dive into that to see why his splits would be that way, but they could change too, because the season is not over.
Mariners fans, let us know. You know your team better than us. We're just trying to keep up. Now Houston, Trev. Martin Mal.
Do we talk about Julio and his widened stance?
Talk about it. Be about it.
Well, no, I wrote that down because that was, he made the mechanical adjustment, or again, not really mechanical, just your stance. Same thing with Torkelson, your feel. So you widen out a little bit. It's probably going to get your head movement to be decreased. Oh man, I'm watching some homers on TV right now. Dang. It's, guys go through it. Again, like you widen your stance so you can see the ball a little bit better. You feel your base underneath you. And I bet you he's obviously seeing the ball very, very well right now. If you go from a time where your head is moving a lot and you're really not picking the ball up, but you've figured out a way to kind of like just get the job done because he's such a great athlete. And then all of a sudden you make that adjustment and you're starting to see the ball better. Sometimes it feels so drastic that you're like, I can't even believe I hit any other way than what I'm doing right now because I'm seeing the ball so well. So widens his stance, able to track the ball, better recognition phase, and bam, 17 fucking hits, dude, in 4 games.
It's video game stuff. Look, shout out to the bullpen. There's some guys out there who you might not be as familiar with. Brash has given them some big efforts. Topa, Gabe Spire. Tough day for Saucedo. We'll move on from that. I don't know, man. As we leak closer to the finish line, Castillo, Kirby, Logan Gilbert. Logan Gilbert, 21-4 on the road in his career. There's a stat. Nice snag, Dalt.
Don't forget about Bryce with the Y.
I won't. And I'm a big Brian Wu guy too. So we got arms. And I haven't heard too much about pitch limits, but I'm sure there's a couple. Maldonado, players only meeting. Houston. Like I said to everybody after the game, this is one of the most disappointing parts of the season. This is a slap in the face and a wake-up call. Okay, Martin. That's he's got a presence in the clubhouse, huh? If you can say that. Trev, I mean, are we worried? Are we okay? No,
not worried at all. And I actually love that Martin said this. I mean, yeah, he is a leader in that clubhouse. First of all, he's a catcher. Second of all, he's got a lot of, postseason experience. He's a very well-respected guy around the league. So, sometimes you need to get slapped in the face a little bit. It's August 21st. They've been playing good ball all year long. Things are going to happen. You're going to get beat, especially when, a team has a guy doing what Julio did, dude. And, you face some good pitchers. So I don't think I'm worried if I'm an Astros fan really at all. I mean, it's just a bad series when you move on from it.
Red Sox Astros series coming up. Some interesting implications both ways there. Sox playing pretty well. Houston struggling a little. Trev, I'm asking this genuinely because I think it's a fair question to ask. Do you think Maldonado's having a tough year? I know offense has never been his thing, but 172 batting average, a 50 OPS plus. Like, I don't know. For any of the new guys, I don't want to say eye roll, but, couldn't those guys be like, hey, Maldonado, we could, you run into a couple too, Poppy. We need that. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think anyone said that to him.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But, they have Yainer Diaz there, and he's like having a really good offensive year. So you kind of like just average those two out, and there's your catcher's position, your OPS.
Okay.
I think I don't have the stats in front of me right now. But Maldonado has always been a very good defensive catcher, a guy that can
he controls
help
the game,
pitching stuff out, control the run game, all that good stuff. They're almost in a 50-50 split as far as like games played, at least. So I don't think anyone said that, no. And again, that's kind of what teams do nowadays is you have a couple catchers and you just combine those stats and you hope that you get some sort of positive OPS out of it. I'd venture to say they're probably right around league average if you put those two seasons together, because like I said, Yainer, I keep saying Yainer, 831 OPS, 123 OPS plus. So he's having a banger of an offensive year for a catcher.
Man, the Mariners, the Blue Jays, or the Astros, most likely. We'll see. I don't know. Could Texas get reeled in? I have no idea, but one of those teams isn't going to the playoffs, and that's insane. It's insane. Those are good teams. Great teams. Not great. Good. Speaking of Rays Halos, Trev, I'm gonna need your weather updates. I'm gonna need your, you've got some perspective, sometimes late night perspective when there's an earthquake and a hurricane in California. What the hell's going on out there?
It was nothing. Let me tell people this right now.
Okay.
I've been through some like hurricane type weather, out on the East Coast, down in Florida and stuff. This was a rainstorm.
Okay.
I don't know how, San Diego and Mexico, they got hit a little bit differently than we did, but we had some rain yesterday. It was good. They moved all of the games. San Diego, both LA teams, moved their game from Sunday. I all had double headers on Saturday, which was a smart thing because it rained all day yesterday. And yes, there was a little jolt of an earthquake. I was on my couch. What were we watching yesterday? Alone.
Ooh,
My kids
people
and I are
into
watching
that.
the survival show Alone on Netflix.
You think I'd like it?
Man, quick little jolt. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my weather update.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was weather brought to you by Trevor Floof. This series, the Ohtani Grand Slam was pretty sick. Just bases.
No, it wasn't sick, dude. I'm sick of Ohtani hits a Grand Slam, and a team turns to AAA, and then the end result is the Angels losing. I feel like there's always stats like that. Something historical happens,
the Angels.
But the Angels lose. It's tough, man. Like, this team has been absolutely horrendous since the trade deadline. Like, they have just
awful.
It's hard to talk about, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude. Like, this is a team that everyone was rooting for. They went for it. About as good as they could go for it.
Yeah.
And I know people will say, well, you waited a little too long. Like, maybe you should have had a sense of urgency earlier on. Say what you want. They did what not a lot of people think they could have done and did, and they have not reaped any benefits from it. It's sad.
So why the Grand Slam is sick is because at this point in the season, if there's a reason to not pitch to Shohei Ohtani, you don't pitch to Shohei Ohtani pretty much. So bases loaded. And I just love, the pitcher's one goal is to not give up a home run to Shohei Ohtani. And guess what he did? So that's where I was kind of doing that with Judge last year during his home run chase. Like, God, if you're a pitcher, you know all the data, and sometimes it doesn't matter. But you're right. What was it? It's the second time a team has hit a grand slam, turned a triple play, and lost the game. So, yeah, man, it just always feels like if you had to pick a team for that, it's the Halos or the Mets. There's a little shrapnel, Mets fans. Sorry about it. It's bad in New York. Joe's actually hit me with an awesome theory the other day. Joe's McFly said, nothing's been the same in New York since those Canadian wildfires came down. He thinks that might have been it. He thinks maybe it was like a Stranger Things type situation. Like,
okay, I was wondering where he's going with that.
The Mets and the Yankees have both been horrible. Like, if we got the update from when New York was set on fire, I think both teams are awful.
Maybe if you stopped paying attention to the snakes so much and started rooting for your Yankees a little bit more.
Maybe if the Yankees rooted,
it's the butterfly effect.
Maybe if the Yankees rooted for me a little bit more. How about that? Huh?
Didn't they put you on their TV network? That's pretty good.
We're pretty hard for that. That's not the Yankees. That's Sinclair. Thanks, Sinclair. We love you. Rays. Where are we at with the Rays, Trev? It felt like, they kind of went into a funk, and then you got the Wander Franco news, and it's, whoa.
They're dealing with a bunch of shit. Really. You're talking about a bunch of their staff having to, undergo surgery this year, losing McClanahan, a gut punch to the clubhouse. Yeah, then the Wander Franco stuff comes out. That's no good. Although, I don't know. I'm not in the clubhouse, but there seems to have been all season long shit with Wander.
Right, in a way, it can be galvanizing.
Maybe sometimes it's not even that big of a deal. Obviously it is a big deal. Excuse me, I don't want people to think that. But what I'm saying is the effect it has in the clubhouse. Maybe it was all right, whatever.
Well, and I think it's more so like you've talked
on the field, different story.
Right, but like you've talked about with the Rays, they've always had. I don't want to be as corny as next man up, but let's go do our thing. Maybe that mentality makes me so jealous of the Rays is they focus on doing their thing. We're going to do us. So, okay, he's out. I think Basabe, he's getting some run, the 22-year-old at shortstop. They've got options. It obviously hurts, but they've also started playing a little better. I think they were what was the number I saw? 13 and 8 in their last couple games. 13 and 8 in their last 21. They've got the Rockies and the Yanks coming up, and they actually hadn't been on a little bit of a heater in a while. That maybe the Rays are going to rejoin the party because, man, I always get thrown off when I look at the standings and I still see how crazy their run differential is. That I don't know. yeah, you never want to say a situation like that is going to bring a team together because you just don't want the awful situation to happen. But I don't know. Maybe we see that.
This Rays team, I think they came out so hot offensively early on in the year that everyone, our expectations shifted for them as a team. And then I think in the middle of the season, there was more of like an offensive lull. It came back down to earth, if you will. But this is a team that, they can have an entire lineup of guys there with OPS pluses over 100, long lineup. They can hurt you from so many different ways that if they continue to hit kind of like how they have been hitting as of late, I mean, they're the same team that we saw early on in the year, and minus a few pitchers, but that's never been a problem for the Rays as far as like figuring out pitching. Like give me 2 or 3 starters, we'll figure out the rest. Has basically been how they operate. It was an anomaly that they had 5 to start the year. So like any other team, besides maybe like Giants, would be very much hurt by the fact that they don't have a true like rotation, but the Rays don't care about that. So I think mainly it's been, let's keep going offensively. Yandy Diaz has had such a freaking good year this year. I think he's in the 9s with his OPS right now. This is a very, very dangerous team. A very dangerous team.
Yeah, I mean, after April, we kind of, I don't want to say we turned off about the Rays a little bit, but they were so far ahead, and then it was just, I don't know. I think they can become a story in the AL again, and I guess with teams the rest of the way, I'm going to keep mentioning 3 starters as we approach that wild card weekend. Glasnow, Eflin, Savale, that can get you there. And by the way, that Rays pen is looking more Rays pen. Fairbanks, Adam, Poche, Kittredge is back. He gets a save for them. Jake Diekman, they kind of revived him like the Rays do. They have a Raysy formula. And yeah, man, Angels, I'm sorry. But maybe we could grab lunch together at the sad lunch table because the Sox sweep the Yanks. Trev, what was the word you used? Did I hear embarrassment before?
For the Yankees?
About the Yankees.
I don't know. Did I use that word or maybe?
I don't know. What's this Red Sox Yankees sweep?
I know that's how you're feeling. A little bit. Are you past it though?
I'm past being sad. Like this team can't.
Is this the nail in the coffin for the New York Yankees?
I'd say yes. I'd say yes. And I think Yankee fans would get kind of chesty and tell you it was before this, but this is it. Nothing that happened was surprising. They're 60-64. They've been playing a bad brand of baseball since May now. That yes, like I love believing in sports. I believe in baseball. They were telling the story the other day how Yogi Berra, when he was the manager of the Yankees, a guy was playing the harmonica and he told him to shut up. Mickey Mantle told him, Yogi said, play louder. It became quite the scene. They got in a little bus tussle back in the day. And then they went on a crazy win streak. It was like 30 and 12. Yeah. The Yankees, they don't have that, and they won't have that. They're putting the same recipe in the oven and expecting different results. And good on Boston, man, because that team can bang. And I don't know, a solid team beat a bad team, and that's what happened.
They didn't just beat the Yankees, they demolished them. I mean, they got up 4-0 in that first game because Yoshida's just an absolute stud. And then you got Bayo doing his thing. A lot of people were taking victory laps there. Even some people that we're friends with trying to kind of step on your throat or our throat. Didn't really like that.
Not me.
Some text exchange today. Not sure. He looks great. This Red Sox team is a good team. Like, they are a dangerous team, especially when you think about, what they can do offensively. So where are they at right now? I know you read off the statistics.
They're 3 games back of the wild card.
The 3 games back with the wild cards. They're right in the thick of this thing. I mean, that'd be fun. I mean, they're going to be in the chase. I would love to see them get there and then get in a wild card spot and to see if they can hang on to it. Because what this team can do, I mean, if you really look up and down the lineup, impressive. You have some old guys getting the job done, continuing to have great careers like a Justin Turner. I mean, what a freaking sign by them. Unbelievable. And then some of the young guys, man, like Casas and Duran, like you love the development that they've had, and they are having real success at the big league level, like sustainable looking success. So now you have these young guys making no money. You're able to supplement around them. Yoshida, you signed to what looks now like a great freaking deal. A great deal. So shout out Heim for that. You have Devers locked up. He's looked incredible. 877 OPS right now. He took Garrett Cole up top.
Sure did.
Like they have a recipe and a roster kind of set up now, offensively speaking, to compete for years now. I mean, those 4 guys I just mentioned right there. And I mean, shoot, add in Alex Verdugo, but Duran, Yoshida, Devers, and Casas. Like that's a very nice core right there. So I'm excited for this team, man. I really am. I think they have a chance, obviously, to be in the playoffs. But even when they get into the playoffs, we've seen like their recipe before. Like they're a team that can win games and surprise people. They really are. Yankees RIP.
They play to win the game, which, if that sounds shocking or obvious to you, it's because my Yanks haven't always done that. So
hey, do the 3 pitchers for them.
Play to win
as we get to wild card chase.
I think
Brian Bayo, Cutter Crawford, and James Paxton.
Chris Sale could be in the mix.
Sale's back doing his thing.
Full pension Piv probably in that crazy
gets opened for
pitch whenever you need role. Like, yeah, man, a Boston team with juice is a dangerous thing, and I know I haven't been including them in the wild card. Someone will get left out of Houston, Seattle, Toronto. Make me, Boston. Like, oh man, if you could kick 2 of those teams out of the dance, I'm for it. Go nuts.
Oh God,
Trev.
That dog Rooster just came on my TV. Quickest, I turned the TV off. Let me say something about the Red Sox, and Red Sox fans, let me know the culture. And this is an Alex Cora thing, I think. So I have to give credit to him, even though I don't want to. They never seem like they're like satisfied. Like
Why
they're
would
always
they
like
be?
upset and wanting to play better. Like it never feels to me like a Red Sox team is like, yeah, we're good. Like they don't say, like they don't play like that. They don't say things in the media like that. Like it looks like a team that has, I don't want to say chip on the shoulder, because I don't think that's the case, but it's a unit, bro.
Yes, they're a team.
Yeah.
Because they have
know your role.
They have a manager that
do
is the
your
manager.
Role, and that's it.
The front office is the front office. The manager is the manager. The players are the players. The owner is the owner. There's a reason organizations are set up like that. At New York Yankees. Orioles swept Oakland. Best team in the American League. Worst team in the American League. Trev, you're talking about this later. Kyle Gibson's hot. That's what I have.
Zach Gelof and I are now Instagram friends, exchanging DMs. BBD loves him because he's part of the tribe.
Okay.
I think he saw that. I think he saw that like
he commented on that post.
Yeah, I need some Jewish ball players on my team now. I've changed my team. I don't know if you know that, Jake. I went Cuban ball players, obviously. Couple veterans, couple fast guys. That was my recipe. I need at least one Jewish guy now.
Okay.
Mix in one.
Yeah. I can do that. Do that. Dean
because
Kramer.
Beavers and I decided I just really love the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, if we can get as many cultures in there
it's a great culture,
as many opportunities to celebrate as possible.
Georgie,
is there any the Jewish faith is so tight knit. Like if you're Jewish, you love any other Jewish person.
We know everybody.
It's how it is.
Been through a lot.
I love that camaraderie, bro. I need that on my team.
Jorge Mateo inside the park home run. We like that. Ryan Mountcastle 26-game on base streak. We like that. Gunnar, you'll hear about him in a little bit. Let's do some National League baseball, and it's brought to you by Blue Moon, baby. Had a couple of those this freakend. Trev, playoffs are around the corner. Get your top 3 in the rotation. Get maybe your top 6 in the Blue Moon rotation, if you know what I'm saying. It was made in a ballpark, Coors Field, Denver, Colorado. Been there. One time by myself, 10 rows in. Got a little scared. Anyways, with the Valencia orange peel, subtle sweetness and hints of coriander. Ugh. The Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer, and you can have it delivered to you at get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Find your Blue Moon delivery options. Treat yourself, people. When you see that orange in your beer, it's kind of like, wow. I really did this. Get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Trev, you mentioned my baseball team, the Arizona Diamondbacks. They take 3 out of 4 from the San Diego Padres. I mean, my goodness, maybe it's just not gonna happen for them because the DBacks have been better than them all season because they have Zack Gelof, who will be contending for the Cy Young. Brandon Pfaadt, how's your prospect, kid? 7 innings, 1 hit. Don't let him click. Tommy Pham, trade deadline. Tommy Pham, I don't know. That's a big personality. How's it? Trev, you know what works when you come in and you hit a 2-run homer to help lead to victory? When you have a hit streak going, 11-game hit streak while being on the Snakes. It doesn't matter your personality if you're contributing to the team like that. Bryce Harley Jarvis makes his 3rd appearance for my Snakes. San Diego, I don't know. I don't know. I tried to defend it. That one game they won was the Pfaadt game. Seth Lugo went toe-to-toe with them. I just don't know. At a certain point, you got to win ball games, and you ain't winning ball games. Jake Snake, 7-3 since I visited. I don't know. What do numbers mean? Mets take 3 out of 4 from the Cardinals. Don't care. They won the first 3. Cardinals won the last game. I'll highlight some dudes now because I don't want to talk about them later. Senga, have a year, man. That's awesome. 7 innings, 1 earned run. Pete Alonso, homers, sure, but he also throws Mason Wynn's first hit into the stands. So he was sad about that.
He sent him a bottle of tequila, bro.
Hey, a little 42 and a bat. Goldschmidt in that last game might as well finish the season strong. Both of these teams disappointed. The Braves and the Giants, on the other hand. 2 teams that one will definitely be dancing, the other probably dancing. Braves take 2 out of 3. It's a fun weekend in Atlanta. We got some alumni softball stuff going on. Peter Moylan's getting driven around in a truck. I think Francoeur won the softball home run derby, so you and him, Trev, you guys have that in common. I bet you guys have similar hammers, too. Braves took the first 2. Speaking of cat scratch fever, Eddie Rosario with the game-winning 2-run homer, down 1 to up 1, just like that. Strider dropped it on them in the first because he's otherworldly and we just get bored of him, kind of. Giants, they salvaged that last one. Scrappy final game. Luis Matos and Wilmer Flores homer. Yes. My guy Doval comes in to hold on. Fun weekend down there, it looked like. Should hit up Pete. Dodgers take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins. This could be more playoff baseball. I don't know. Marlins, they take the first one. Alcantara, quality start. Soler, 2-homer day. Jazz Chisholm, Berger, and Stallings, all homer. The Dodgers on California weather doubleheader day. They win both games 3-1. How about that? Ryan Pepio throwing it for the Dodgers. Haven't heard his name in a while. He steps up for them. Second baseman, right fielder, utility man Mookie Betts had 2 RBI, and then he had 2 homers in the second game because that's what he does. Dodgers Take 2 out of 3 in that one. And then, hey, how's your Williamsport Little League Classic? The Nats and the Phillies. Nationals win that first game. Stone Garrett, Blake Rutherford, Lane Thomas, all with 3 hits. Nats come back. Trey Turner, 2-homer day. Castellanos is barreling everything. And then the Nationals, they're kind of rolling to victory. Friend of the pod, Trevor Williams, shuts them down. It's 4-0 in the 9th. Jake Cave with the homer. We've got a ball game. No, we don't. Kyle Finnegan, splitters to Real Muto. Nats win the series, and they're playing some good baseball, Trev. That's what happened in the National League.
Bravo, Poppy. Bravo.
God, it moved. It moved over here. The Braves, how many wins do they have? 80 on the nose. 80-43. That's pretty good. They have a 13.5 lead. I'm going to call that one. You know, when it's election night and they say, 60% of the votes have reported, but we're calling it, it's over. Congrats to the NL East champion Braves. Phillies are 67-57. They have a nice little lead on the 64-61 Phillies. The Nats are a game behind the Mets, 7-3 in their last 10. Hey-o. How about it? The Milwaukee Brewers, 68-57. They have a 3-game lead on the Cubbies, who are a game up on Cincinnati in that Central. Pittsburgh and St. Louis jostling for last place. The Dodgers, 60% of the votes reported. I think they're going to win the West at 76-47. Giants, 11.5 games back. Snakes, 2.5 of them. San Diego, they're back there, man, and the record's not pretty. This is fun. Phillies are in by 2.5 games of the wild card. San Francisco, a half game up on the Cubbies, who are a game up on Arizona, Cincinnati, and Miami, all outside looking in. It becomes a quality versus quantity conversation in these wild cards. If you like quantity, boy, the NL should get messy down the finish line. Let's go Snakes. And they were the first game on this dock, Trev.
This was a series that we were highlighting because, two teams sort of in contention for a spot. We keep saying the Padres are, but I don't know, man. I don't know if they're ever going to get it going. And it's funny because sometimes, I'll say I don't get the Padres, and I feel like, maybe I haven't watched enough of their games to really feel the vibe. I've watched Padres games. I'll tell you that much right now. But then when you listen to literally anybody talk about this Padres team, all they can say is, "What the hell is going on?
Right?
Why can't you win close games? Why aren't you hitting with runners in scoring position? Is there really some sort of weird clubhouse vibes going? It doesn't seem that way, but they're just the way you speak about the Red Sox and how it feels like they just show up to work, and we got to get the job done. It doesn't feel that way with the Padres, and they're just not getting the job done. So here they are now. I think you said they're 5 or 6 games out of a wild card spot, and they haven't shown enough at all for us to really believe in them. All that anybody really talks about is the roster because it looks nice. There's some shiny things on it. You'd expect it to play well, but it hasn't. It really hasn't. And, I highlighted this series for another reason too. Zack Gelof gets a start in the first game. He actually faced them his last start as well. So back-to-back times facing a lineup. Most of the time that means that you're going to have the advantage as a hitter because you're seeing the more you see a guy, the better it's going to be. Well, no. 12 1/3 innings in both of those starts combined, 1 earned run, 11 Ks, 2 walks. Zack Gallen's that guy. He doesn't care about who you have in the middle of your lineup. It doesn't matter. That's very impressive. I'm telling people that right now. To be able to do that. Back-to-back starts, shove twice. Really, really impressive. Then set the tone for the rest of the series, man. Take 3 out of 4. That's big because the D-backs needed that. They had been struggling a little bit since the trade deadline. Taking 3 of 4 from San Diego in San Diego is a way to jumpstart your team. Go Snakes, go. Jake Storiati. Maybe it was you.
Your NL Cy Young odds right now. Zack Gallen plus 200, Snell plus 250. Justin Steele and Strider lurking, but yeah, I mean, again, Vegas doesn't mess around with the money, and right now they have Zack Gallen as your Cy Young favorite, which we might have fueled that a little bit. So happy for us.
I'm just trying to think if you could just put $100 on both of them. Is there a way you're going to make money on that? The math wasn't working out in my head.
Man, I don't want to jump ahead too much, but don't sleep on Strider because that guy just will keep striking everyone out.
He does like a no-run September. He's in there.
Man.
In conversation.
Man. I don't know, Padres. I don't know.
Yes, you do know, dude.
It's over.
You're gonna get a sick Tatis homer and a bat flip during the series, but you're gonna lose 2 out of 3. Seems like that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
We want to talk about like Shohei and he does something cool, Angels lose. Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, Blake Snell does something cool, they lose a series.
When did he steal home? Was that this series or last series?
That was against the Giants.
Okay.
Previous series.
Great play.
Electric.
It was electric.
I don't know, dude.
Arcillo on the call. Trev, Mets-Cardinals is a flyover series at this point. If you have something you want to add, but unfortunately for both franchises, this doesn't matter.
It doesn't. We're okay. I'm okay with it.
We've hit that point.
This is the time of the season where we do this. People understand that. These two teams with massive expectations just completely gone, just tanking, essentially.
Well, then let's talk Braves-Giants because I mentioned that Strider guy, 7 innings, 1 hit, 10 Ks. It's normal. The Eddie Rosario homer, he goes 4 for 4 that game. I'm thinking about making a list of, I think every team should have 2 guys on them that are hitters, and that sounds really dumb and obvious. You need stars, right? You need dudes who are incredible. You need the Freemans and Betts and Acuñas and whoever it is. Your team's star player needs stars. My 2 examples that I'll throw out to you, Eddie Rosario and Ryan Mountcastle. I think their year-end numbers, they're not going to be the flashiest. Like, neither of them are on base percentage guys. But if they need to hit, they're going to hit. Like, put it around the zone and watch what I do with it. And Eddie Rosario, 4 for 4 in that homer that takes you from down 1 to up 1. God, I've always been such a fan of his, going back to the Twins before I even knew you, Trev. And this whole team is just stacked that, man, even Sunday's game was catching the end of that. That was fun. Because the Braves know the regular season matters. That's why they play every game. That's why on this Sunday game against the Giants, they were scratching and clawing until the end and not doing like, well, we already won the series, fuck it. Like, no. Momentum in winning games is so important, and they're really good.
After the first game, they shut out the Giants. Strider, like you mentioned, had a great game, and Iglesias gets the save. He actually got a save in the first 2 games. But after that first game, it marked 3 consecutive shutouts for the Braves. Think about that. You have
5
that kind
out of their last
firepower,
8.
And you're shutting teams out.
5 out of their last 8, they shut out the opponent.
That's when, I mean, they're incredible. Yeah, I was going to ask you, so yeah, Rosie, homers off one of the Rogers brothers. Can you name which one?
I just saw it. Otherwise, I would not have.
Oh.
I think I would have got there because it wasn't left on left. So that's Taylor.
That's the question I was going to ask you. Which one's the lefty and which one's the righty? I mean, I know. I played with them.
It was off of Tyler.
Okay. Nice.
But again, I just looked at it and I would have gotten it wrong.
Yeah, and then in game 3, that was, I mean, these were good baseball games. The first game, no offense for the Giants, but the other 2 games, really good ball games. Peterson, RBI walk. if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think there was a hit in the inning where the Giants took the lead. I think it was like 2 hit by pitches and 2 walks.
Walked in the game-winning run.
And that was after Acuna tied the game on the stolen base to third. He scores on the air. So that's aggressive ball. They pitch, they hit. Braves do the thing, make it a game, and then the Giants end up on top, and they salvage the series, which you have to give them credit for because
matters.
That's just it's kind of what they do. And again, they're finding ways to go around this rotation, lack of a rotation, I guess. They have their 2 guys go. They have Cobb and Webb go, and then after that they have Junis, who's the opener, and I'm still always surprised at how they're able to do that and continue to win games. We'll see if it matters in the long run with their bullpen as we get down the stretch. They've thrown some innings, so this was, I just think, 2 really good teams going at it, and the better team took 2 out of 3.
Yeah, looked like some fun stuff going down there this weekend. Gonna text Peter. There was also a good scene. They had to do some work on the mound, and they were, sometimes the grounds crew comes out mid-inning on the mound, and you see them go speed like Looney Tunes mode. They were working, but they weren't in a rush. I think they had it at 6 minutes, and Gabe's out there. He's hands on the hips.
Yeah.
Snickers in the dugout. He, took his hat off. It was something only baseball can provide, is I guess how I'll phrase that. Speaking of good team beats team they're a little better than. Dodgers, we talked about the weather. You've told us all it's a farce, at least in the LA area. After getting rolled in the first game where Soler, I think it's his 32nd homer. I thought about talking about him for my award later. They put up a big boy number. Dodgers take both games in the doubleheader, both 3-1s. Mookie Betts is all over both of them. They survive Yuri Perez, who he gives a nasty outing. That guy's a freak show. Don't make me say the Marlins top 3 again. Dodgers get it done.
That's it. Essentially, they get the job done. Some tough news out of there. Gonsolin has a rough start. He ends up injured, out for the season, it appears. Which, man, look, I know every team deals with injuries, and there's a lot of teams dealing with injuries to their pitchers, but the Dodgers have really had to battle back from that. They got some guys back, but now losing Gonsolin is tough. So we just send some good vibes his way. Sandy had a nice start. Yuri Perez had a nice start. Even Braxton Garrett had a nice start, but these are the Dodgers, man. They just win games.
Do you know who has the highest OPS in the National League?
Freddie Freeman?
I say Poppy. Can he play baseball? Mookie
Betts. Just overtook him then, huh? Okay.
Mookie Betts has the highest OPS in the National League. His age 30 season.
Utility player, Mookie Betts?
That guy, man. That guy's different. That guy is different. LeBron James in the house.
Yeah, it was his bobblehead night. So, which is weird. I don't know.
How's that happen? How does that conversation? Did the Dodgers call the Lakers and hey, can we do this?
Agent stuff.
There's always
Rich Paul?
a little bit of there's always some coexistence between Lakers Dodgers. They're the two teams in LA. Those are
right.
People love Dodgers. People love the Lakers.
Yeah.
Rams are still finding their footing here. Clippers are
pretty new in the grand
scheme.
scheme.
Chargers are basically non-existent. USC football gets in a lot every once in a while, but Dodgers Lakers is classic. That's who everyone loves. So I think there's always a little bit of that, and then it's LeBron James, dude.
And you were at Snake's Suns night, right?
Sure was.
Yeah.
Sure was.
A lot of these teams like to kiss.
Me, Diana, Sophie Cunningham. Trev, if you could put a dinner together with some of the Minnesota, I think I've done this before, but other Minnesota athletes when you were there. I think you said you had a couple nice times with, what was it, Harrison Smith, the Vikings safety, one of the hockey guys. I don't know.
What's the question?
Like, if you were to get from your time in Minnesota, like get some of the Minnesota dudes together from that time period, who would it be?
Like, who was I hanging out with, or who would I want to hang out with? What are you talking about?
I guess it's both. Like, I'm saying, like, it's not like you get to pick, like, oh, I'd love to hang out with KG, and like, it's like, no, like you'd run into some of the Minnesota Wild hockey players and be like, oh, that dude's a nice guy. I like him.
It was mostly the football players, because during the summertime they're like basically off, or they're going to their little camps and what they have to do. So I would see Harrison out. Harrison's out in the town a little bit.
Yeah. Meeting people.
Ladies, well, he was
good looking Notre Dame boy.
Good dude, really nice dude. And a Rudolph would sneak out every once in a while. I'd see him from time to time. I'm trying to think who else. There's some other guys I kind of forgot their names.
Is your celeb fantasy league running it back? Fantasy football league?
The big one we used to play in?
Yeah.
No, it's over.
Really?
I think that league like turned into. I think I got kicked out of it essentially. Or we took like a year hiatus from it, and then they kind of started it back up, and I was like not in the show anymore. So tough.
Damn. You know, Marty Fish is a really good golfer.
Of course I know that, man.
Okay. Phillies Nats.
Yeah, no, he's like Jack Nicklaus said he's the best amateur golfer he's ever seen. That's a direct quote. So yeah.
Let's get on the course, Jacko. Nats Phillies, Trev, Williamsport Classic. I know you hate Little League. Any thoughts?
I kind of do. I tried to get into it, guys. I did. Like the dude from Taiwan, not Chinese Taipei. He's a menace. Yeah. And there's some players. Like my dad loves this, so he came over and he's just you been watching the Little League World Series? I was like, nope.
Stella and the Fellas, the team from Tennessee. They've got one gal, Stella, who's a stud.
Love that.
And the Fellas. That. So I'm
didn't know that.
I'm all in on them. Yeah.
Doesn't do it. Just doesn't do it for me. I wish it did, guys. I have to be honest with the people.
Yeah.
I just love one form of ball. Major League Baseball.
I'm with you. I'm with you on it. Actually, Little League World Series again. I was in a cabin with 20 dudes this weekend, and that was a nice, easy thing to throw on for the fellas because everyone's got a little League in them. That's kind of the. That's
what it is. That's what it is. Everyone's like, my team, we were pretty good. We could have done this when I was 12. Shit, man.
What, you think they couldn't have, Trev?
I didn't play Little League. I played Pony Ball, so I never had a chance to go to the Little League World Series, but...
Yeah, I found out one day that, my town's Little League wasn't eligible for it, and I was like, what the hell are we doing?
Then why are we playing?
Why are we playing Little League Baseball if we can't go to fucking Williamsport? Are the Nats actually playing good baseball? Are we good since the All-Star break?
Yes, they are.
I love that for them.
Try to tell you about this. The guys they got. They're gonna play a good fun brand of baseball at times. At other times, not so fun.
Second half Nationals 21-14.
Love that for them. We started naming some players that before the show. We were kind of laughing about that. We said, well, let's talk mostly about the Nationals thing. We started naming some players. They got some guys.
Hey man, it's one of those things. I don't know how to quantify it. I've told you this before, and I usually get lost in my words per usual, but playing the Nationals the rest of the way, that's a lot different than if you played the Nationals the first half of this season.
Well, yeah, no, 100%. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about some of these teams that are out of it. They're all in different classes.
Right.
Like Mets and Cardinals.
Yankees. Sad.
Yankees. They just
sad.
It's a sad brand of baseball. And you have a few guys that are young guys that are still trying to establish themselves. But a lot of the veterans are like, dang, man, August 21st. That's one more week in August. And 4 more weeks. They're planning vacations.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck. The Yankees are like, November. You're supposed to be in the playoffs. Excuse me, October, you're supposed to be in the playoffs. All of a sudden, you can move up your trip. You can go to Napa in October if you want, Yankees. So that's what some of these teams are doing. But teams like the Nationals have a bunch of young guys. They're still trying to establish their numbers and get the backs of their baseball cards up so they can, do well in arbitration. Like that. Same thing with the Tigers, man. You're going to get some feisty teams that are down below that are still they still have that fucking energy. Like they don't consider these the dog days of August. It's still Major League Baseball.
We're playing ball with the boys, man. We're playing pro
dude.
ball.
There is a difference when you get a little older. Like I said, there are times where you're like, fudge. Like, first of all, my contract's already guaranteed, so like it doesn't really matter what my numbers are. We're not winning, so I can't really talk about that. It's like there's different brands of baseball, and I think you're seeing it with, the Nationals and some of the guys. I mean, Joey Meneses is still trying to, get his numbers going. CJ Abrams the same way. Kevin Ruiz, these guys are all like pre-arb still. So like they're trying to have platform years and, like I said, like kind of establish themselves. So then you got Big Lane Thomas doing his thing. My guy Blake Rutherford getting some knocks. Shout out Chaminade High School and Blake. He's the guy, actually, Blake Rutherford is the guy that made me realize that I was probably not good enough to play anymore. Or my body doesn't work the same anymore. We got on these, we were working out together during the off season, and we went to the beach. And there's this big beach hill up at near Ventura. And it's literally a hill and it's just sand. So we run up it. It's brutal. It sucks.
Right.
I got matched up with Blake. You have to go up, touch this thing, and come down. I'm like churning. My legs are going. They're digging deep into the sand. This dude, who's also like a big dude, he's not like a little guy. It looked like he was running on concrete. Like his feet on the sand were just like going so fast. Like it looked like he was regular running. And I'm like I'm in quicksand or something. I was like, dude, this is ain't the same anymore, Coach Trev. Maybe you need to hop on over to the media side and dominate that. Oops.
So he helped you for
A little bit.
For just for the sake of being correct. Key Bear does have a contract extension in place already, so not a pre-arb guy. But the rest, yes.
Oh, when did that happen?
It was this off season. He got an 8 for 50.
8
Oh,
for
shoot.
50.
How did I miss that? That's a pretty big deal.
We talked about it.
Good for him.
Malamia.
Like less than 2 years of service at the time he did it. Lock it in.
Yeah.
Stone Garrett, jacked and playing well.
Don't think about how many of those guys would start on the Yankees.
Yankees Nats this week. Be locked in. Yeah, Trev, my getting old thing is, if there's ever like a little thing on the side to walk on, like a little stone wall or something, little guy, hop up there, walk on the stone wall, hop off. The hop off started getting scary. It's like, shit, it's 2.5.
When was that? You're not
2.5 feet. Last week. Let's do some IL. I think we got 2 IL series that matter. And this one is a fun one. The Milwaukee Brewers sweep the Texas Rangers. Oh, how do you like that? They win a dramatic 9-8 game. Carlos Santana riffs one 3-run home run to take the lead. His 295th career. That's not bad. Carlos Santana. Woodruff, that was his 3rd start since coming off the IL. Devin Williams is coming in for a save. He did that a couple times in this series. And then the Brewers, 6-1, 6-2. Willy Adames, Trev. I don't know if you know this yet. You're going to hear about him later because he did his thing, a 4-hit day and a 3-hit day. Zeke Duran with a tough day in the field, 3 errors. Scherzer trying to be the stopper in that final game. He can't get it done. Tyrone Taylor with the big hit. And the Milwaukee Brewers is trying to get back into that NL upper echelon of teams. And this was a big spot to do it. Blue Jays, they take 2 out of 3 from the Reds. The Reds win game 1. 1-0 CES. Encarnacio Strand with the walk-off homer in a 0-0 game. Good for you, kid. Ellie De La Cruz gets some walks after he had not been walking at all. But the Blue Jays, they win the next 2. Davis Schneider, remember his come-up? He has the tie-breaking solo home run. Romano works through trouble. Bassett gets the win. That's their formula. Paul DeYoung gets DFA'd after getting traded for at the deadline because Bo Bichette is back, and he showed that in the final game along with a bunch of other guys. They gave Hunter Green the work. Blue Jays take 2 out of 3. Your Twins, Trev. I dare I say good team versus not so good team. They win the bread games in Twins fashion, 5-1, 2-0. Pablo Lopez, and how about my sushi buddy, Dallas Keuchel, with the no-no going on into the 7th. Good for him, man. You gotta love that. The game the Pirates won, McCutch goes yard and 5 ribbies. Whoops. Sorry about that. And Mitch Keller chucking that cutter harder than he had in a long time. Michael A. Taylor's taller than you think. He homered in that first game. Dare I say good team versus not so good team. Cubs take 2 out of 3 from the Royals after dropping the first. Trey Turner, a.k.a. Bobby Witt, he goes home run to help win that game. But then from there, Justin Steele trying to get the Cy Young. Cody Bellinger, sure, another 2-homer day, kid. His contract is getting very interesting, huh? And then Hendricks, Suzuki, and Miguel Amaya, they both homer in that final game to get the Cubs the series win, 2 out of 3. White Sox, Rockies. Rockies take 2 out of 3. You needed double-digit runs to win one of these games. Rockies did that the first 2. White Sox did it the last. Charlie Blackmon. You might hear about him later, actually. And that's what happened in the IL.
Way to go, Poppy.
Trev. Brewers, Rangers, couple division leaders.
This was a really fun series and honestly a shocking result, I would say. I don't know.
In Texas, Scherzer in that final game, yeah.
Like, if you were to tell me what team scored 21 runs in the 3 games, I would have said probably the Rangers.
For sure.
With one of, if not the best offenses in baseball right now. But no, it was the Brew Crew. And go look at their stat page. It's still not exactly lighting it up offensively. But this series, they got the job done. Santana, who like really hasn't been good, was really good this series. He gave him the lead. They put him in the 7th with the homer, and it was like he really did go down the ball like a tomahawk, top of the zone type swing, man. The good old school baseball swing, Jake. But yeah, I mean, this was an interesting series. The Rangers, they did score 4 in the bottom of the 9th of that first game. So it was against Chafin, and then Williams had to come in. Actually got some knocks off of Williams before he ended up getting the job done. But yeah, it was 9-4 going into the 9th, and they put up a nice little scare there, as the Rangers offense does. You know, they don't quit. They can continue to go. Then it was all Brewers after that, man. In the first game, it ended Seager off of Williams.
Yeah.
It's a laser out to left center, and our guy Sal Frelick goes out there and gets the job done. A really, really nice catch. I mean, that changes a lot of things if he doesn't get to that ball. I mean, that's a for sure double, maybe a triple. All of a sudden, it's like, you know, panic time. But he makes the catch, gets the job done.
They're gonna start naming dogs after that guy out there. I'm telling you.
Okay. Yeah, you and him will get along, I feel like. Yeah. Shout out Willy Adames. He's been great. Scherzer on Sunday in the Powder Blues, it didn't work.
Ooh.
Like, I don't think he's too serious.
Yeah.
To pull the Powder Blues off. Like, I don't think he wanted to wear that jersey. I think he's like, dang, man, like, do I gotta wear this?
Yeah. Their broadcast booth was wearing Powder Blues too, and that kind of wasn't a play. I don't know.
Not into that at all.
Yeah.
He ended up he was wild. Scherzer in the start ends up hitting Adames in the head, which is kind of scary. But the first thing I thought of myself was like, just Scherzer does not look good in the Powder Blues. I would avoid them for the rest of the year if I was Max Scherzer. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I like that. Yeah. Yelich continues his kind of bounce back season. Same with William Contreras. I was wondering for a while, I was like, which Brewers need and deserve to be talked about? Willy Adames, you're going to hear about him later because he had a couple big boy games and you will hear about him. Man, in the Brewers, I don't know. I feel like they had a mid-season lull, and it feels like the engine's starting to click a little more. And, Canna in the 2-hole. Santana gives them a couple games. Are the kids growing up a little bit? Is Willie going to get going? I think that matters a lot more, but
how about that? The kids that we were all talking about, they had a freaking name for them and everything. And it's like, nah, man, let's just our old guys are going to get the job done instead. Yelly's going to come back. Willie's going to start to get hot for us at the end here. The guy we traded for, William Contreras, is going to be our guy. They're such an interesting team to me because they do have an identity. It's not like they're a bunch of guys that are supposed to bop that aren't. That's not what this team is built like. It's run prevention. Let's go play banger defense and pitch, and we'll get some timely hits. And so they're kind of constructed differently than a lot of these other teams. But it is nice. I think Canna and Santana add more some professional at bats. And again, I know Santana, even with the series that he had, the overall numbers just aren't really there. With the Brew Crew, 181 for a 628 OPS. He's hit some homers, so the slug is there. But those guys will give you professional at bats, and I think that as a pitcher, when you're going up and down a lineup, and you have guys that work at bats, or at least you have to game plan for I can't just lay one in there, and he's an out. I think that means something to this Brewers lineup. It just elongates it a little bit. So they're a fun team. They do it differently, and to sweep the Rangers down in Texas, that's big ball right there.
It's big boy ball. Rowdy Tellez is back. The Brewers are fully back on my radar.
Did you see his finger? Did you ever see the picture of it?
No.
Don't look it up. It was. He got it stuck in the fence, and dude,
I don't like that.
You have to look it up.
Okay, I'll look it up. Let's look up some Jays. They take 2 out of 3 from the Reds. Like I mentioned, CES walks off in that first game. The last game, the Jays go off. And interesting, Ryu's back. He gets back-to-back wins. Bassett gets his 12th win of the season. Romano's back. The Jays are kind of clicking a little bit again, right? They at a certain point of the season, they were hanging out with the Yankees and Sox a little bit. They've been in the dance for a little while. They're a half game back of the Mariners now, and it's I don't know, it's just interesting perspective because God, if this team doesn't make the dance this year, heads have to roll. And yet, they take 2 out of 3. It feels like they've been playing good ball. They just got caught by a Mariners team that's in Fuego.
Yeah, this is a good series. First game, like you mentioned, obviously Strand with the walk-off. Before that, Barrios and Brett Kennedy. Really nice starts. And this was our guy Vlad with the heads-up play on our guy Will Benson, which really it's, if people didn't see it, runner on first base, Vlad gets a pop-up straight to him. He lets it fall. Benson doesn't end up running, so they turn 2. It's really... I guess what you got to do there is you got to get to first base, and then you're just going to get 1 out. Benson has to get to first base. And then he's either going to catch the ball, or if he lets it fall, you tag whatever runner. I guess you'd always get the lead guy in that situation if Benson was on first base. So bad base running, heads up play by Vlad in that one. And then, Encarnacio Strand to the Twins could probably use. Nice walk-off. Even in the second game, the Reds get runners on second and third in the 9th with 1 out. So, hey, man, we're gonna tie this game up. They have a double steal to get there. Bam. and then Ramos K'd, and then Fairchild ground out to Chapman. So I think it was Romano on the mound, gets the job done there. But that was a nice little, scare at the end of the game. And then you're right, the third game was 5 homers off Hunter Green.
Yeah.
5 of them.
And
Brandon Belt has 2. Who else has 2?
It was a little bit that Cincinnati ballpark, too. It's why hitters like it. Like Bichette drove one the other way. It got out. Belt drove one the other way. It got out. Which you can't say that with every ballpark. And Bo Bichette, he comes back. He was out from July 31st to August 19th, so about 3 weeks. He still leads the American League in hits. And right before he left with injury, he comes back. He has a 1-hit day and a 2-hit day. His last 8 games, which again are separated by a month, but 472, a 1.264 OPS. That dude is a problem, and he is back for the Jays. So, man, watch out for them. Like, that's a young, prideful team that they know the stakes here. Don't be surprised if they find another gear because they have it.
I love the Blue Jays, dude. I do. I love Bo Bichette too. They're a problem. I mean, them and the Mariners together. I like both those teams a lot.
Trev, I'll let you. I think we got to start wrapping it up a little bit. Your Twins take 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. Like I said, good team, not good team. Cubs, Royals, the same situation, and.
Thank you for calling the Twins a good team. You usually don't give that sort of respect to a division-leading team.
Yeah. Well, you've won me over with the Minnesota Moose, Matt Wallner. So I know he got hit by a pitch, but
he came back. He's fine. In this series, Lopez pitched great. Keuchel took a no-no into the 7th, I believe. Even Sonny Gray pitched all right. Kind of got bit a little bit, but. The Twins are a better team than the Pirates, and that's about it, man.
Yeah. I'm with you. Cubbies, I can't believe I see another belly 2 homer day on here. It's crazy. Again, good team, bad team. And, hey, I love you, Charlie Blackmon. That's all I have to say. Todd Helton threw the first pitch.
Cole Tucker got DFA'd.
Yeah, so fuck them.
It's tough. I reached out to him. He wants to get called back up. So I'm going to go down.
Yeah.
Try to get called back up. But proud of my guy Cole.
Too close
back up this year.
Too close to the situation. Luis Robert, 33rd homer of the year. Good for him. Trev, let's go to standout performances. Standout performances. Standout performances are brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. And Trev, you've waited all year, and it's finally back. College football this weekend. Holy cow. The traditions, the tailgates, and great offers from the DraftKings Sportsbook. $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. Kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code TALKIN. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any football bet. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code TALKIN. Stand up front. Trev, who you got?
I'm going with Gunnar Henderson. What game? He had a lot of different good games here. I'm going with the game yesterday. He went 4 for 5 against the A's. 2 doubles, a triple, and a homer, 2 ribbies, 3 runs. And you're saying to yourself, well, shoot, sounds like he could have had the cycle. Yes, he could have. In his last at bat, hit one down the right field line. Could have pulled up at first base, but he took the double instead, which I think is important. I think that, I think I said this before the show, they don't pay you for freaking cycles, dude. Yeah, you get a cool tweet and people talk about you for 5 minutes, but hey, man, take that extra slug right there, get you a double, get in the scoring position for the guy behind you, Gunnar. But he's been incredible this year, and you talk about. Before we were trying to figure out reasons why, how is this Orioles team doing this? Well, freaking Kyle Bradish has the second best ERA in the American League. Shout out to someone who tweeted that at me. And then Gunnar Henderson doing this, man, this guy's racked up 4.1 B WAR already. And our guy, Foolish Bailey, sent me a DM on Twitter, and he put together, sort of an immaculate grid. And one of the things he does is 4 WAR season. So he shouted me out because I had a 4 WAR season before. He goes, man, like if this catches on, like you're going to be a great answer for this. And I said, dude, thank you. I appreciate the love. 4 WAR seasons are not easy to come by, dude. Go check it out. Not many guys get to that point. So I'm proud of my 2014. But Gunnar Henderson got there this year, and he's freaking 22 years. He just turned 22 years old. He's a stud. I always love when guys don't pull up for the cycle. I'm kind of over that. If you want to, fine. Doesn't really bother me. But the fact that he got on the second base, had this great day, great series, I don't know. I wanted to shout him out. He's a stud. I like his swing a lot. Yeah, and he has been a different player. I mean, since June, he's an 886 OPS guy. That's an elite ball player. The cycle thing is funny because if he does do it, I don't know, we kind of shrug and we laugh, and his teammates were actually giving him guff for not doing it because it's a fun notch in the belt to have. But at the same time, it's also, young guy doing that. It could feel a little like, come on, buddy. Like, okay, so you were thinking about it. I don't know. I think against the A's, though, they would have been fine with it. You can do whatever you want against. It would have landed fine either way, which I thought that was kind of interesting. But he is a dude, Trev, and golly, he's just getting better. He's 22. God, imagine getting a 4 WAR player for $700,000. That's nice. They got a few of those guys. Will they spend money this offseason? I keep hearing about this payroll, and they can do it. And let's go. If there's ever a time, you've got to do it while these guys. You got as young of a team as you do that's might have the best record in the AL. You better offer Shohei $70 million for 3 years and see if he turns it down. Seriously, you have no money on the books. Why not? You're paying Gunnar Henderson $700,000. Like, let's go.
Get ahead of the comments. You mean 70 per, right?
Per, yes.
Yeah. Per.
He probably would turn that down too. That's just crazy.
Yeah, because he's got a lot more coming. Trev, there's a lot of options. Some of these guys you might even hear in a minute on in Fuego, and a lot of guys we've already.
You didn't give Julio Rodriguez your standout performance.
Talk about Isaac Paredes, you stupid Yankee fan. Dallas Keuchel, hot. I'm going with Willy Adames. I already teed it up for you. He has a 4-for-4 day with a homer. Again, that's next to a 3-hit day. Willy Adames, in a lot of ways, is like the pulse of that team. Like, Yelly's kind of the face. He's been the face. Willy's the pulse, man. When we went there for spring training, you went to a field and Willy Adames was there. You knew it. Even during the games, like Willy Adames saying what up, having a good time. Like he's a dude there. He's the shortstop. Like that stuff kind of matters. His offensive season has been rough. He has been a positive OPS plus player since 2020. His career numbers, 248, 318, 755. I know that doesn't blow you away, but that's a 106 OPS plus. And when you're getting that from your shortstop and a guy who hit 31 tanks last year, that's a lot.
Hot boy, too.
Hot. That's a lot different than the 211, 295, 387 slug he's had this year. We're starting to get to the point of the season where things can balance out. We've seen Julio start to go. Don't be shocked if Willy Adames starts to go because he's better than that. And if he starts to go, the Brewers have been dying for offense that can have a bigger ripple effect. If Willy's a going, and Santana's out there, and Canna's there, and Rowdy Tellez is back. Like, now you have more options for things that can click that I don't know. My eyes are a little wide after what they did to Texas on the road. And good for Willy, 4-hit day at the office. That's pretty good. Went 7 for 9 at one point. So, important part to what the Brew Crew are doing, and he hasn't gone this year. And maybe he's about to.
Yeah, he's a stud. I love everything about him. Love the way he plays the game, the passion, the energy that he brings. You're totally right. You hit it on it all. And
Thanks,
he can, when he gets hot, carry a team offensively. We've seen it before, and I agree. Like, this is something that the Brewers need. If they, I mean, they can get by and be okay and make the playoffs and like have a chance without guys going nuts offensively. But if they really want to be like in the World Series discussion, then Willy's got to rake. Christian's got to rake. You know, somebody else in that lineup, whoever it is, if it's a Canna, if it's a young guy, if it's a Santana, has to rake. They have to get those guys firing at the right time, you know, which is the playoffs, to have a real shot. If they don't and they're just kind of middling, then they don't. They're not going to win many playoff series. But that's kind of the Brewers' theory is, let's get to the dance. We have our strong pitching, we have our run preventing defense, and we'll see if we can, you know, hit a homer here, string together some hits here, steal some bags. Like that's what they think. So for them, but for them to be serious contenders, guys like I mentioned have to go off.
Yeah, you can put together a Brew Crew lineup if it's right. Yelly, Adames, Contreras, Frelick, Rowdy, Santana, Canna, like all the kids. I don't know. I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch down the stretch. It's kind of been something I ran into. Trev, there's been a lot of guys running into balls.
It is Frelick.
It is Frelick, yeah.
I said Frelick. I'm sorry. Yeah, Frelick. How can I forget that?
What I used to give out.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Got it. In Fuego, my favorite part of the show for the series. Charlie Blackmon.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
sleep on Charlie just because he is in Colorado. 5 for 12 in the series, 2 homers, a triple, 4 ribbies. He actually had 2 walks and a hit by pitch for a 1.6. He's hit safely in all 6 appearances. He's 9 for 20 because that's a 450 average of 2 homers, 2 triples, 5 ribbies, and just 1 K since returning from a 53-game absence with a fracture on his right hand. It's nice to come back and bang like that right away. I always had to think about which one to say. It's Josh Lowe. Tampa outfielder Josh Lowe, 6 for 13, a double, a homer, 7 ribbies in a 3-game set against the Angels for a 1.3. Jake Cave goes 5 for 12, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 4 ribbies. Glad to see him doing his thing. He was raking in AAA, now doing it at the big league level as well. For the week of August 14th through August 20th, say it. Julio. I wanted better than that. 21 for 37. I'm going to read that again. 21 for 37. 21 hits in a week.
Oh, no.
4 doubles, 2 homers, 12 ribbies. He set the major league record with 17 hits in 4 games. That's a joke. It was set in 1925 by Milt Stock of the Brooklyn Robins. I don't know. 4 consecutive 4-hit games is nuts. Go off, young king. Eddie Rosario, cat scratch fever, my guy. Bucket hats and heaters. 11-21. 2 doubles, 3 homers, 10 RBI. On Saturday, he was 4 for 4 with the double, the homer. He had the game go-ahead homer in the bottom of the 8th. 3 ribbies. He essentially single-handedly led Atlanta to a 6-5 win over the Giants. Dalton getting a little...
It's a little dramatic.
A little breath heavy on that one for me. But, yeah, he had a great series, 11 for 21. A great week, excuse me. Logan Allen, I feel like we've talked about him a lot on Fuego as of late. 2 games started, 12 innings pitched, 8 hits, only 2 earned runs for a 1.5. And then for 2 weeks, August 6th through August 20th, you know Mookie was going to be on this. Utility infielder for the Dodgers went 19 for 46, 3 doubles, 4 homers, 15 ribbies, 10 runs for a 1.2 in those 2 weeks. He set a franchise record with his 11th leadoff homer of the season for the Dodgers. Nice. How about Milwaukee? Talking about the offense needing to go. The pitching is always good. Freddie Peralta, 3 games started in those 2 weeks, 18 2/3 innings with only 2 earned runs, 30 Ks. Woo! 0.96 ERA and a 0.75 whip over those 3 games. He's 4-0 with a 1.47 in his last 5 starts. And he has 50 strikeouts since July 26th, which leads the big leagues. And last but not least, Atlanta's closer, Raisel Iglesias, had pitched in 7 games. He got 4 saves in those 7 games, 7 innings pitched. Jake, how many runs? 0. I answered for you. 11 Ks. That's a 0 ERA, people. He's been doing it. Shout out to Raisel Iglesias. And that, my friends, is Susan Fuego.
Glad the Braves can get someone going on the back end. I was worried that could be a hole for them. Trev, fantastic Fuego as always. The IL report. Jakey's IL list. Lars Nootbaar goes to the IL for St. Louis. CJ Cron on his new team, the Halos. Stripling for the Giants. Jeez, they need innings, man. Ranger Suarez and Tony Gonsolin. Catterday. Don't like that. Aaron Hicks, Brandon Crawford. We hate. Returning for the IL, Trevor Richards stretching out that Toronto pen. Kevin Kiermaier stretching out that outfield. I know we mentioned it. Logan O'Hoppe is back. Remember how sad that injury was? The kid is back. Good for him. That's got to feel good. I told you about Bo Bichette, man. That guy hits. Rowdy Tellez and Hunter Green. Not the most welcome party back, but he is back. Reds need innings. That is your IL. Let's begin the week.
Awards!
Treb?
Shout out, Kels. I am giving the meme award / Triple Crown award.
Okay.
The meme, I don't know what the meme's called. That's why I just call it the meme award. There's a meme out there, or as Bryce Harper calls it, a meme.
Meme.
What's he called?
Come on. It's tough. That was tough.
It's 2017, man.
It was tough.
I'm sorry. That got me. I'm so funny sometimes. All right. Hey, that actually happened, though. The meme I am referencing is like when there's like a Lamborghini parked next to like a kind of a downtrodden house. Do you know that one?
Oh, yeah.
You don't know what that one?
I do know
you
that
put it up
one.
on
I
the
do know
screen if
that
you
one.
find real quick so Jake can see it.
I know that meme. Do I know memes? Are you kidding me? Yes, I know.
Okay, that's the meme I'm talking about. Okay. / Triple Crown. It's a bad Triple Crown.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with that aspect of it. The Oakland A's, 2023 Oakland A's, they're not having a good year. It's been tough. Shout out to Mark Kotze for like, man, that's got to be rough to show up every day. What can you do? There it is. This is
Yeah.
that's like me when
that.
I come to the warehouse.
Oh, get out of here. Mute
Oh
him.
my
Mute
goodness.
him.
All right, so the Triple Crown I'm referencing. If you go to the Fangraphs roster resource page where we like to get a lot of our info for this show. That's a throwback to an earlier part of the episode. The A's, 30th in average. 30th in starting pitchers ERA. 30th in relief pitcher ERA. That's dead last. Like, hey, Trev, those are old school stats. No one cares about them. Well, when you're 30th in them, people care about them. If you move over 1, OBP, 27th. Whip, starting pitcher, relief pitcher, 30th. These guys are by far the worst team in baseball, statistically.
Yes.
It is crazy. I would like to know, and somebody please do the research here, leave a comment if you could find it. Roster resource, when's the last time a team finished with the 30th average and then 30th ERA for starting pitchers and relief pitchers? I bet you it hasn't happened many times. And the A's are trying to do it. They're trying to win the Triple Crown in that fashion. So they're like the house in that picture, which the house isn't even that bad, but you know, this is a meme. You guys know what that represents, right? So they're like the house in that picture.
Okay.
The Lambo, is that even a Lambo? What kind of car is that?
It's a nice
A
car.
Bugatti?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who is that car.
Zack Gelof. Have you looked at the stats,
Okay.
Jake?
Okay, give him to me.
I was there when this guy made his debut, and I referenced this on Friday's pod with Beavers. It was Tyler Soderstrom was the guy. He was up.
Right.
I believe his dad played in the big league, so it's like they were like this, and he was the 18th prospect in all of baseball. So it's like he's making his debut, and then this other guy is also making his debut, Zack Gelof. Well, it's been a tale of two different players so far. Soderstrom has had a really rough time. He's contributing to that 30th overall in the average and OPS, which they're also 30th in the league in. But Zach, my guy, has been incredible. He already has the third highest WAR on the team. He's only played 31 freaking games.
Yeah.
120 at-bats. He has 8 homers already, 7 stolen bases. His OPS is 993. He plays the game hard. He plays it fast. He looks like, I don't want to say a superstar. I don't. But sometimes you can just tell with the guy that he's going to be all right. Like this dude's got power to all fields, and he can run, and he just watch. I know there's not a lot of reasons to watch the A's play. This guy's one of them, dude.
Okay.
Like, I think this guy's going to be a real deal ball player. I don't even know the minor league statistics. I haven't even looked him up. I don't care. I saw him in person, and I've continued to watch him because he caught my eye at that point. I know, like, these are gaudy numbers, and you could say, oh, you're just looking at these, and they're going to come down, and surely they will. This guy's, I don't think he's going to be a one-dotter. Not many people are.
Right. But
you're talking about, like, a second baseman, middle infielder that can hit for power, has speed. Like, this is a guy to watch out for. Like, hey, the A's have not given us a lot of reasons to watch them play ball. But if you do happen to catch an A's game, make sure you have your eyes on this dude, because he's the Bugatti parked out front of the downtrodden house, man. He's been incredible. So Triple Crown bad / meme award goes to Zack Gelof and the A's. Gelof.
I'm all in. I'm all in. Why not? He's been playing. He's only played second base for them, and hey, it's gonna be a long road, but Ryan Noda has put together a nice little rookie year. I know he's injured right now, but your first baseman, okay. Gelof, they've got Lane Jaliers and Soderstrom, figuring things out. Estuary Ruiz is going to put up some video game numbers this year. We talked about it with the Tigers a little bit. You need a little bit of cheese, and I'm not saying it's next year for Oakland, but you're starting to see some things, and good for Zach. I'm in.
Delaware native.
Ooh, that's always interesting. Drove through Delaware. I don't know what that's about.
Okay.
Shout out
Shelfie. Kind of near the beach.
Shout out Shelfie. Trev, I'm giving out the rank and file award. Because I think it's baseball, business, life, whatever it is. I think there's some things that happen, and there's a reason we have them. Now, I do think in life change comes up, and you got to adjust and adapt and all that. But some things are fairly proven, and I talked about it a little bit. That the players are the players. The manager's the manager. The front office should be the front office. And the owner should be the owner. And there should be, there's times when things do overlap and you need to work together and you need to be aligned. Like, the front office and the manager should be aligned on a lot of things, right? But there should also be pushback at different points. Like, that there should be open conversations, and you respect what I do with the team. I respect what you do with the team. And, there should be difference in opinions and arguments and contrasting styles. In my opinion, it shouldn't be just one entity with one philosophy. It kind of blurs together. I think that's my Yankees problem. I want to give a shout out to Alex Cora. When we do managers around baseball and what does that mean and what do they actually do on a day in, day out? I don't know, but I know the way that the Red Sox play, and I was glad you mentioned it with the Padres, that they feel just off right now, and they feel like they feel like I don't know, we're kind of doing our job, right? We're just not winning. The Red Sox have an itch for more and more and more. And you can feel it with each batter and each guy that comes up. And I do think mentality can come from the manager. And sure, he still needs Devers to rake and be one of the best young hitters we've ever seen baseball have. He needs guys to produce, but he gives them a little fire, man. And where the lines blur is supposed to be the beauty of baseball, that Cora gets ejected from the last game. And in the 6th inning or so bench coach Ramon Vasquez is now the manager. Red Sox come back. They win this game 6-5 over the Yankees. Cora's presser gets broken up by Kenley Jansen, all-time respected player. And they say, we're going to need you for a second. Little beer shower. It's Ramon's first victory as a manager. We're celebrating. We're bopping with the boys. That's when that gray area should mix in. And, hey, for a couple minutes here, we're all fellas. We're all going through this. 162 together. Let's celebrate. Let's have fun. But that's the same manager that benched Verdugo, for when he thought that was necessary. Like, you got to have those in an organization to be successful. And we saw it in the year Cora was out. I mean, there was a lot of casual talking baseball Ron Renicky jokes because he did not lead the team with the same vim and vigor that Alex Cora does. He is an important part to what they do. I think he can go toe for toe with top managers in baseball if we need to rank them. And we always do this game of, do managers, do they not matter? To a degree, they matter. You need really good ball players. Hinch didn't save the Tigers because he didn't have Altuve, Springer, Correa, all those guys. But you can add something. And I think what Cora brings to the Red Sox, I think he's a difference maker. So shout out to Sox Nation. Yeah.
Very big of you as a Yankee fan.
Go Sox, go.
I agree. I mean, yeah, there's whether it's him doing that, which, he has to set a tone. I think what he does well is understands the roster construction of having some of those veterans brought in. I mean, guys from outside of the organization but immediately command respect to the clubhouse, like a Justin Turner, like a Kenley Jansen. I mean, doesn't matter where those guys go play. Like, they're automatically going to be leaders because, first of all, they're good players. Second of all, they have a shit ton of dirt on their spikes. And third, they've won. Like, they've been there, done that. So you're going to listen to these guys. And so I think there's a little bit of tone setting by Cora, like you mentioned with the Verdugo stuff. But I think, I think he understands who he's got in the clubhouse. Chris Sale, like, surely he's a guy they're keeping everyone in check and, playing against him. I know he kicked me out of his limo one time, but I know that it's a no BS type attitude. Like, a lot of those guys, it's, hey, what good teams do is they'll understand. And this is kind of like, I feel like football, it really happens too. But what you do affects what I do and what I have to go through. Good teams realize that. It's like, shit. Yeah, like, I need to get mine. But, like, these are my brothers here. And, like, if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, and all of a sudden I'm not getting to that ball that I probably should get to defensively, that hurts the pitcher. And that's taking money out of his pocket. And that's taking a win away from our team. Like, good teams have that mentality where you do play for each other. And it seems like the Red Sox have that. So, good award. I like that. I'm glad you did that.
Sox kid. Trevor, God, it's good to be back.
I miss you, Paul.
I don't think I've got any Friday funny business the rest of the way. I think I'm here through the playoffs. I think.
Yeah, we're like locked in. It's
right?
It's go time. I have one more thing in September. My annual camping trip, but other than that, we're
dialed.
Locked in. Playoff run incoming. Thank you to everyone. We'll be back for the midweek. Go listen to Baseball Today with Trevor Plouffe. Why not?
Throw it up.
See you guys.
Jake sucks.
Zack Gelof.
Kellogg. Stud.
All in.
Stud. Virginia guy. You of.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a real one.